Please like and subscribe. It helps support the channel. It don't cost nothing. Watch the end, share with your friend.
Ready for action. I need a weapon. I need a weapon. Fight for the Empire.
You need a contract.
Drop your weapons.
Welcome to Mongoose Max Hawaii, the channel. Welcome. Ikamomai. Welcome to Mongoose Max Hawaii, the channel. 365
Here they come again.
5 days. 365 days. That's right. It's 1 year. 1 year. 1 year. 1 year. 1 year. 1 year continuous. Every day continuous. From the first time I started doing it every day, this marks 1 year. So goodbye. I'm done. I don't have enough subscribers. It's all over. It's never going to get monetized. And this isn't even on. No, that's on. Mongoose Max Hawaii at the newspaper is over with. Well, every single day. I don't know. I can't find something else to do right now. But,
Trooper standing by.
the everyday thing isn't panning out anyways, because I'm not gonna go away as far as like stuff to do, but you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Hey, thanks for the mongooses. I know it's been a while, each and every day, but Mongoose Hawaii has gotta go away. Lots of production, I learned a lot, even went through a hurricane and they arrested me for nothing. But I didn't make a red cent, not 1 penny. So I'm gonna do whatever I want. You're welcome along for the ride. I might even learn some stuff. I was gonna do Aloha Oi, but it's not really Aloha Oi. I'm not like a totally go. So I don't know if that's cleared up or anything. But anyways, so this might be exceptionally long, and I don't care. I don't care. I might not even do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do a speech for Toastmasters on the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine Warren. It started off, Ed and Lorraine Warren, ooh, the first American Ghost Hunters. Oh, Ed and Lorraine. And now it's like, how much of a fraud were you guys? So my speech changed. I don't know. But now, back 500 BC, I'm going to take a look at Aesop, because Aesop had some what call people have called them fables. A little moral to the story fables. Let's see. Let's take this one. Reading this one. Okay, I'll try to be quick because we're going to go over the newspaper for sure. The man and his 2 sweethearts. A man of middle age whose hair was turning gray had 2 sweethearts. Ah, dog. An old woman and a young one. The elder of the two didn't like having a lover who looked so much younger than herself. So whenever he came to see her, she used to pull the dark hairs out of his head to make him look old. The younger, on the other hand, literally, he didn't like him to look so much older than herself and took every opportunity pulling out the gray hairs to make him look young. Between them, they left not a hair in his head, and he became perfectly bald. And the moral of the story here, this one has, not all of these have, but this one does. Those who seek to please everybody, please no one. Thank you, Aesop. Why 500 BC and your little children bedtime stories have a ring to them. You know, actually he wrote kind of like, he was kind of like this weird little, kind of a Gollum, short, ugly, creepy guy, and he was a slave, and he earned his freedom doing these things, and also he became an advisor to kings. This was a kingly advice. Anyway, yes, let's just get on with it. This is, and it'll come back once in a while. You know, I mean, I got nothing to do. Let's say Beetlejuice 3 times. Newspaper! Back. Yeah, this is where we look at what's in the newspaper. If you notice, I'm going to tell you some behind the scenes stuff. I'll get more into it later. I take a shot of the sunrise every morning, you know, and then I kind of do it before and after. So I got an early one, and I kind of pan, and then another one, and I stick this thing in. And since I do the gobbledygook, I call it the blah ending, the meltdown, the UFO abductee, whatever you want to call that. I don't know. It just sort of developed and became a thing of its own. And so the end shots of the sunrise accordingly. And then I also take the birds are actual birds. They're here in the morning. They're quiet now, but you might hear them in the soundtrack because they'll take about 15 minutes of the birds early in the morning. I just take the recorder, go up and get the newspaper, put the recorder down, and leave it, come back, retrieve it, leave it and retrieve it. And I got birds, so I lay the undertrack. So I think, you know, because since I learned a lot about editing and putting together, this kind of show developed like it grew, and then it became this kind of structured thing, and it became routine. When it's routine, it's no longer fun, and it's like work, and I'm not getting paid, and I'm doing work, and I'm not getting subscribed. I appreciate every single subscriber that does subscribe. I know lots of you tune in only for the cryptocurrency, and if any of you tune in for the witch story, but that's a different thing, because I'm going to be honest and open about my life, but I'm not going to name names and throw pictures like that. But I'll tell you what, when something like that happens to me, you know, I'm perfectly free, freedom of expression, perfectly free to share about it, just not in a mean way. But I'll tell you, that person needs help, medical help, and that person is real. And the fact that their behavior does reflect, I've read these books, demonic possession, and also this kind of like, you know, diabolic dark art, art. I'm going to feature in Spook 101, so those might start coming up. But I'm not going to feature that person particularly. It's not going to be all about that. That's just one of them things. But honestly, that person is a medical doctor. And for me, I'm going to have legal boundaries, because no one else is helping me out with this, so it's going to be, boom, legal. And so, you know, right now, I'm wide open because my mom, I'm a home caregiver for my mom, and so she's like, don't do anything. I feel like The Exorcist, it's like the movie The Exorcist playing out. The actual Reagan in my window, and then, you know, the priest's mom, oh Dini, Oh, how come you never see me, baby? My mom gets like that when it comes to that one. It's like a replay of the movie. What the hell? Anyways, newspaper, yeah. We go check out what's on the headlines. So this is the part where I go like this. This most excruciating editing thing where I overlay. This is just a B-roll of the TV news, because news is news. Once it's news, it's not like really copyrighted if you do a news thing. If you do, a car commercial came up one time, a car commercial with stunt driving, and I got tagged for copyright because there was too much of the stunt driving car commercial. So now every time car commercial, I snip those out. I don't like cakey first birthday. I'm not into people's kids. Like other people, is that your baby? I was like, ew, get it away from me. It's like, oh man, yeah, that's real. No, I don't think you're the greatest parents in the world because you popped out a kid. But sorry, I get into controversial stuff, but I try to be nice. But I ain't gonna conform to someone because they go, oh, no. But this is the part, I raise up the newspaper it's like this. And then if I go over here, I found out I can squash that in real time or not. So depending if I raise it up from here or raise it up from here, then I have to figure out where I'm going to squash it. And that's it. And then I'm like showing you the headline, because it's a feature of newspaper. In this case, the governor vetoed everything. I'm not going to be too serious about the news right now. I think it's stupid. I think I will do, what I do like is some of the features in here, like back in the day. For this particular person, for this particular back in the day, it's 1971, which isn't that long ago. Come on. I do history. And I'm paleontology. I got a fossil over here that's older than the human race, okay? So long ago, it's before Gen Xers were born, is like prehistoric times. Get over it. The world doesn't revolve around certain generations. 1971, this is Kabuki and Kalihi elementary school? Oh my gosh, Kalihi. So they finally got away with violence for the kids. Kabuki sword fighting, where I guess they have the kendo, I guess. Tap, 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 tap. Kids are like, yeah. Teachers, they like it. And then, I don't do pidgin English all the time, but I like pidgin English, especially after doing the Shakespeare, we're lowering in deaths because people are getting vaccinated. Oh, how about this? Here's one. I do news articles that I kind of just catch my eye. For example, a tornado hit Chicago. A tornado that's the upper end of Tornado Alley, Chicago. I was in Texas 5 years. That's the lower end of Tornado Alley. That's the upper end. So in Chicago, this particular place where they had the demolished house is Naperville, Illinois. Let me tell you something about Naperville. I used to live there as a little kid, and I got little kid memories too. And now I'm going to be squashed by your little kids. No. But one time when we were there, I'm sure Naperville's huge by now, but we were there. It was like a couple streets with houses. One was a dead end that went to this guy that had buckshot, and if you went to hike to the pool past the railroad trestle tracks, you had to go through this guy's backyard, and you put rocks up, you shoot you in the butt. And that was the whole kid thing. No, I never got shot. I don't know if it was even true. Then there's seriously, I got lots of memories. Then it was snow. I was there till about, 5 years old. And up at the thing, there was the big pool. It was a country club, really, because it was a golf course, and the golf course had a country club. But we didn't golf. I remember going across the golf thing, and look at the ball washer. And there was the big pool and the country club. So we went into the big pool. We came back from the big pool and the country club. We had to leave because it was like dark skies and it could be potential lightning. So we're walking back to the house, which would be one giant country block because it was like that kind of area. And I remember looking up into the sky and seeing the swirly freaking clouds. But this was a tornado. So we come first, Loco. Thanks for the memories. And the mongoose that came out of the trash can. And Mongoose Max is a real cartoon character that came out of me going to the beach all the time. Oh. Hilo jail. Yeah, that outbreak in Hilo jail. So now they want to show you, hey, this is the inside of a cell. You sure the outbreak was the COVID virus? Look at the cell, man. That's like classic stereotype. Bubba, you be you, you be you, you be Bubba. And here's the some of the news. The governor is gonna veto all this stuff, which includes like taxing the tourists that come over, because that makes sense. You tax the tourists, they're gonna go, oh, screw you, I don't want to go. I gotta go to the Caribbean next time. I'm gonna go Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, they're gonna go someplace else. They got beaches elsewhere. And so what they did is veto that, or he's gonna veto a bunch of stuff. And he's gonna rely on some federal monies, and the state's gonna keep millions and billions and, well, millions anyways. And I'm sure they're gonna pay off their debt because they're rail fools. And the hotels are like, yeah, man, we're the visitor industry. We're gonna have to pass this tax off to the customer, and we'll have happy customers. So they're happy about that, but it's sort of like, is that the right thing to do? I leave it up to you. Sudoku, I actually do like to do Sudoku, but I haven't done it for like such a long time because I spent my whole day editing for you guys, and you never like and subscribe. Well, you subscribe some, but I never see no likes. The only like down there is me reviewing the thing for mistakes, which there are many. And this is getting long, yeah. Russian naval ship. So the Russians are actually having exercises in the Pacific. So, gimmicks and gags. Yeah. This is actually for no, I don't even know where he is. Where is that? Well, a little AM radio. Dang nabbit, man. Yeah, and that's how this place is organized. Just one big mess. But yeah, that little radio is for it is hurricane season, and a big one might come, but hasn't yet. So it's a little precaution and a little bit of fun. And Big Q. Given recent shootings and stabbings, have you gotten worried about violent crime? I'm always worried about violent crime. I had violent crime right inside where I live, in the house. This used to be a home. Now it's like a house. And when that person was here, I swear to God. Oh, I'm told it hurts her feelings, and she was told that I say stuff and it hurts her feelings. 24 years. Stop torturing me. 24 years. Stop torturing. The only reason I didn't do nothing earlier is because my mom said, don't. It's the only thing holding me back from full legal repercussions. She'd be in prison. It'd be Bubba. Chick Bubba. I don't got sympathy for criminals, really. I mean, I've done some bad stuff in my time and stuff like that in the drinking days, but I never go out and rob people. I never got stab people. I never got hurt like that, and I never constantly harassed a person or depleted their. Never mind. So I have no sympathy for criminals. I went to a place where the sociology degree that I did get was really meant for the cops, because we took a lot of criminology and demented freaking psychology and all that stuff. It's like, I don't want to be a cop, honestly. But I would have made a hell of a good homicide detective. But then I used to have a stomach for gore, now not. So do I have? No, I don't want to. I want to steer clear of violence. I don't recommend it. I say it. Catch all the criminals, throw them in the prison forever. Just friggin', make it where it deters crime. Because people nowadays, there's too many criminals that think I can get away with it. So, but yeah, I'm very wary of people that could become dangerous, and it makes me mad. And everybody has the potential to be dangerous. So don't escalate. So here we go. Are you worried? Are you concerned or worried? 59%, 60%, 2/3. Yes, very concerned for safety. 60%. 1/3, 33%, somewhat, not so overly so. 8% not worried, unaffected. You're unaffected until I never got stabbed. I'm not worried. Okay, elephant trunk, blah blah blah. And there's nothing really in the sports. Well, I do have letters to the editor, and we're gonna freaking do that. And we're just gonna have a big long campfire saying goodbye. Goodbye. It's not goodbye to Mongoose Max. Nah, it's not goodbye to Mongoose Max. Why? And I'll do these once in a while. Here we go. But I don't want to become. It's become such a big show that it takes a long time to edit. I swear to God, it takes like hours to edit. I got nothing else to do. It's like everything else is on hold. So I'm gonna do like sporadic stuff, and I got some feature stuff. So, and I got light in my eye. So, but I learned a lot from Mongoose Max. So newspaper. I should say newspaper. Learned a lot from newspaper. You should too. Now let's look at some letters to the editor. I just figured this is like people's opinions, and everyone can just share their opinion. So I can share my opinion and commentary on news and stuff, and I can make commentaries. There's opinions in the news, so it's all free game. My little green light here is not so bright because the other one burned out. Anyways, I had creative lighting. As you can tell, these things are too bright. Oh, and my phone and people. Stop it! Just make fun of it. What the hell? So the political cartoon is America is one big Sorora cactus, and take knowledge that you know. What the heck? So why is that? I remember, going, my friend was from Arizona and went and saw Sorora. Sorora cactus are only in America, well, a little bit in Mexico, in the Sonora Desert. And there's always they pick on this, like the cliche cactus. They should have Sorora lives matter. They're protected species, so you can't mess with that cactus. Here we go, letters to the editor. Notice this? This is also, trademark Mongoose Max. Seasons for Hurricane Power Grid Catastrophe is great working against cyber threat and transaction. Now I'm getting sloppy. It's great that we're working against cybersecurity threats and transitioning to green solar energy sources. However, we trash fuel sources of electricity. Think about the reliability of generation sources for our grid. It is a troubling thought as the state becomes heavily reliant on solar as our primary power source. Imagine, as usual, Category 1 or 2 hurricane, or worse, hurricane, eventually arrives. Surviving generations and batteries might last a few days. This is expensive. A couple days. The solar panel installations on my roof were warranted up to a wind factor failure criteria of 110 miles per hour. Most solar panels would likely end up in the Pacific Ocean or neighbor's kitchen. Why is no electricity, no water, no gasoline, no food? Charles Toby Rushforth Anioi, giving us the brighter side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Oh, shocked that police officers are being prosecuted. Well, if I was a cop, I'd just let them escape then. June 19th. Okay, I used to be a teacher, high school, for a little while, but I never got like my full classroom, year job and everything, because they were, housing crunch destroyed the market, and the market bubble, boo, 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 boo. And they froze hiring, so I never got hired. So by the time I'm like getting too old for this, I'm like doing substitute teaching, and then like crawling the walls, because you can't substitute teach. Effectively, you're not teaching; you're just kind of babysitting in a sense. And I just tell them I'm a teacher anyways, and they kind of shut up. They think you're a dumb substitute because they hire lots of people. So anyways, I take notice of these kind. I started off social studies, but I was also into science. Science, that's right. And I wasn't going to be like Bill Nye, but he would be someone to be like, never mind. I digress. Juneteenth, social studies. Juneteenth represents major change of thought. I learned about Juneteenth earlier this year, or maybe it was last year. I teach 8th grade social studies. I taught middle school social studies. No, I taught middle school everything. had all the different courses. Middle school. Only for half a year, because then they didn't need me. Then they dumped me. They have loyalty of like a cockroach. On Saturday, I was happy, feeling joyous, even knowing that Juneteenth will be a federal holiday while shopping in the commissary. Shopping in the commissary? It starts with that song. Yeah, the commissar's in town. Don't turn around. The commissar's in town. You gotta make fun of it. While shopping in the commissary, I wanted to say to every African American there, Happy Juneteenth. If you did, these black people look at you. What you get? Yeah, white people. It's a major thing, and there's no real good way to handle talking about social studies topics like racism, anything. All the social studies handles all the horrible topics to talk about. Racism is one of the biggest ones, you know. It's like, how do you even address talking about it? It's still there. It exists. Some people don't want it to exist, and they try not to, but there it is. And if you're trying to, Happy Juneteenth, you're just going to look, yeah. Oh, gosh. Didn't get too close. It would be weird. Yes, it would be weird. That would be weird. She recognized that. But I also wanted to say it to everyone because she's all-inclusive, because she's a social studies teacher trying to teach 8th graders, which is what? 6, 12, 13, 14 years old. Just before high school, right? That's when they get cocky. They're in 8th grade. They're bigger than all the other kids, and they're like the biggest 8th graders. They think they're so hot. And then they get to high school, and they're the freshmen, and they're like the lowest rung. It's hilarious. Ego learning. All over the course of history, so many cultures have been subject to the yeah, you know, I'm more interested in what I got to say because, I don't know, yeah, she went over the history of it and says, I won't have secretly feel awkward in the commissary, Louis Furness. Kalihi, yeah, good luck with your middle school. Seriously, it's not the kids, it's the parents. And it's either the parents or the administration. Those are the real dogs and that skill stuff. Cuckoo Alliance Health, which deserves much praise. That's great. Good for you. Yeah, you deserve much praise. And we're about done. Let's just do one more. Oh, the new stadium named after K. Kaula. Robert K. Kaula. Robert K. Kaula Aloha Stadium. Good article. Good idea. Let's handle one more of these. Oh gosh, it's long. Catholicism can handle same-sex arrangements. Oh no. Social studies. There is absolutely no theological reason for Catholic agency to refuse place children with the same-sex couple, and the religious freedom, I have the right to believe whatever I want to, that stuff, argument in the recently decided Supreme Court case is bogus. I agree with you. But it says Vice Rules, June 17. Neither in Scripture, nor in Catechism, nor in the Apostolic Creed, Catholic statements, or essential beliefs can one find cause to deny children placement because of their foster parents are of the same sex. And if you want to know about Catholicism, here's your book. They came out, I thought this was an ancient book. It came out in like 2001, Pope Paul II, who is now a saint. Oh my gosh, Catholic. I'm looking deeply because I'm Catholic, and they're doing some Catholic stuff. So, and I'm going to do the Warrens, which are Catholic, ghost hunter, demonologist. Confusing yet? But this here book, you can get it paperback for them, $10, and it is the teachings of the Catholic Church. And mostly it's really kind of good stuff. I mean, it's like, oh, what is the Holy Spirit? Oh, it's like, oh, Elijah, the fire dwells within him, the forerunner is more of a prophet, and the Holy Spirit is this and that. It's really supremely written well, and it tells you if you have questions, it'll give you answers, and that just went off because it did. And so, well, whatever, just deal with the end of that. No, wait a minute. Well, that goes my lavalier. My lavalier is attached to that. That's okay. I got Yeti. The Outlaw Pass. The Outlaw Pass. Was it a Yeti? Smashed all those hikers. Oh, that's terrible, Yeti. That's terrible of you. Anyways, If the church teaches it, it's part of their stuff. If they don't teach that stuff, it's heresy. Heresy just means they don't teach that. Neither in Scripture, false argument has entered into the Catholic Church in America relatively recently. American Christianity has been influenced by the early 20th century beginnings of the fundamentalist movement. Enough said. The fundamentalists are like, it says it in the Bible, it's exactly what it says. They have no understanding. Most fat Catholics first converted Jesus way, and he said that. The first convert was an Ethiopian homosexual, and Jesus said some eunuchs, non-cisgender, form in their mother's womb. Too many Catholics in America become ignorant about origins and history of their own church. Gene Rosenfeld, downtown Honolulu. Thank you, Gene. I don't know. I tell you what. It's still kind of like bending that to fit that, and it was written back, and the anti-gay thing to get out of the Bible is wrong. If they're going that way, you'd be damned for eating shellfish and all kinds of different other stuff too. Leviticus code. I am looking into it. Anyways, that's it. Mongoose Max is going off the air. Not as Mongoose Max, but as Newspaper. Newspaper, we'll be back, cause I don't got nothing to do. My life is terribly empty. So I fill it with you to watch the stuff. And hopefully somebody tunes in and says like, make a comment. But I don't adhere to bullies. Bullies are a no-no, and then they blame you for the bully stuff. And when it gets legal, hey man, do the right thing. Don't take the law into your own hands. Do the right thing. Sue them. Get a permanent protection order. Anyways. Then sue them. Anyways, that's it. It's a long one. Newspaper will be back here and there. Don't look for it every day. Other stuff will be back because it'll open me up to do other stuff. In the meantime, I gotta go have an appointment with my therapist. Thanks, which I learned a lot from being tortured by you. But no more. You gotta draw the line. No more. You are no more. But for good people, hang loose. The guy that gets the T-Rex toenail award, I don't know. It was the guy that, was the earlier one. Well, so last time, y'all get the T-Rex toenail award, but you don't get this. I got this from Bozeman, Montana, because I also lived in Montana for 6-7 years. And I went to that museum and I saw actual T-Rexes, the bones. English. This is what it looks like in the middle. I fill the papers up like this. Like that. And I put on some. I'll explain later. And then we make a bunch of sounds.